I'd like to introduce one of the marchers. She's from Geneva, New York, in the Finger Lakes region. 19 years old, and she's going to college for journalism. Now, as a guy who has a degree in journalism, I really hope that Faith can get a job when she graduates from college in journalism. That would be awesome, that people would actually read journalism 4 or 5 years from now, because she's going to be an environmental journalist and shed light and educate the people on what's going on with climate change in their communities. Welcome, Faith Meckley.
So I'm going to start a timer to make sure I don't talk your ears off, and it's going. So I want to start by telling you about something that happened the other day while we were on the march. It was a beautiful, beautiful walk. We climbed up to 9,300 feet on the first half of the day, and then walked all the way back down in the second half of the day at the level we had started at. And it was hard climbing up that high, and it was really hard on the knees going back down that low again, but the view was incredible. And along the way, I was walking with Miriam, the March Mayor, and a man on this dirt road, as we're climbing up to 9,300 feet, stopped, and he rolled down his window and he said, "You know, I really appreciate what y'all are doing, but it's not going to change anything." And this man didn't want to have a conversation about it, because when Miriam and I tried to respond, he rolled up his window and drove away. And, you know, change is really hard. And so I'm not upset at that man for thinking that way. And it shows that he appreciated what we're doing, because he said thank you. But he didn't think that change was possible. Now, I, on the other hand, happen to think that change is inevitable. And if he had stopped long enough, I think I would have told him that, you know, I can't live my life, I can't die in peace if I know that my lifestyle was destroying our future and I didn't do anything about it. And that's why I'm walking, because change is inevitable, and I have to try. I can't die knowing that I didn't try, and I've got a pretty good feeling that a lot of you feel the same. But the thing that's going to be hard about this change, that has been unlike any other movement, is that in history, is that it's going to require the participation and the cooperation of every single beautiful human on this planet. And so, how do we do that? How do we bring together so many people across so many lifestyles toward one similar goal? And I think there's two things. First of all, we have to trust each other. It's hard. We've been raised our whole life, at least in American culture, to be scared of strangers. They're going to take you, they're going to hurt you. Don't talk to them. Now, one of the things a lot of people asked me when I joined this march was, aren't you a little concerned about walking with 300 strangers that you've never met? And my response was, no, I can't wait to meet them. And it has just been the most amazing experience. I've only been here for 2 weeks. I started in Taos. I plan to go all the way to DC, but I started in Taos. And I have a new family. And I don't know how I ever lived my life without all of the marchers that I walk with now. And they will be with me in my heart forever. And we all need to foster that friendship with each other. All of us right here, all over the planet. And what's the second thing? The second thing is we need to share our stories. When I was in Fort Garland, I had an opportunity for the first time to talk with locals. And I heard some stories. And I gave a speech in Fort Garland, and something came out of my mouth that I wasn't expecting. I told the people in Fort Garland that I would carry their stories with me. And I plan to do that through all the communities, all the way from Taos to DC. And now, just to show one story, is there was a couple in Fort Garland who told us how they had just retired and bought a beautiful new home that they were so happy to have. And a couple months into moving into their home and enjoying their retirement together, they found out that they didn't have all the property rights that they thought they did on their land, and that any time oil and gas companies could come in and drill on their property. How devastating is that, to just move into your brand new home where you plan to live out the rest of your life, to realize that you might have to move again for the sake of your health. On the road, we came across a farmer driving his tractor, and he stopped. His name is Jeremy. He asked us what we were doing, and when we told him, he revealed to us that his area had been in drought for 7 years. And when we asked him if there was a message that we could take to the White House, he said, "My mama always taught me that if I had nothing nice to say, not to say it at all." And lastly, also on the road, we came across a man doing yard work in front of his beautiful home, and we noticed across the street that there were blackened trees. And we asked him, how did that happen? And he told us that in 2012, a wildfire came through, and he managed to get him and his wife out of the house soon enough. And luckily, it didn't come across the street and burn his home. However, it destroyed the homes of 15 of his neighbors. And as we walked up the street, we saw those skeleton homes. And as we got off that street and back onto the main highway, we looked up and we saw an entire hill of blackened trees. These are the stories of your brothers and sisters. And I have a story of my own. I'm overlapping my time already, so I needed a timer. So I'll keep it short. If y'all want to help me, I'm from the Finger Lakes region. I live on Seneca Lake, which is currently facing a dispute about gas storage under the lake, which could have huge detriments to our area. So if you want to help me, go to gasfreeseneca.com. Gasfreeseneca.com. There's a beautiful petition that you can sign. And then after that, I want you to come to me and I want you to tell me your stories so that we can connect and so that I can carry them with me. Trust your fellow humans and share stories, and we can make this change happen. Thank you.